40 grand in hundreds feeds into a slot at the back of a gas station. And the second the machine counts that last bill, the money is riding a blockchain to a wallet nobody can open. No teller saw it happen. There's no transaction to flag and no charge to dispute. The cash turned into Bitcoin the instant it dropped, and Bitcoin doesn't come back. You're left holding a receipt and an empty hand. The way these machines work is half the trap. You feed in paper cash, the kiosk converts it to crypto on the spot, and it fires that crypto to whatever wallet address you punched in. The caller hands you that address. Usually it's a QR code they text to your phone, so you don't even read the string of characters that's about to swallow your savings. One scan, and it's gone. There's no holding period where a human at a bank can catch it and pull the brake. The chain doesn't have a fraud department. Somebody was on the phone with the person behind this the whole time. That's how these run. A caller says they're from the Social Security office, or a detective sitting on a case file with your name in it. They know your name before you say it. Sometimes they've got which bank you use and a slice of your balance. The story bends to fit you. Your account's been hit, and there's a warrant out unless you move your money tonight. Then the instruction drops. Pull the cash and feed it into a crypto kiosk to protect it. They'll even coach you to lie to the teller if anyone asks why you're withdrawing so much. People do it. Tens of thousands of dollars gone into a machine bolted to the wall of a strip mall lobby. And the ones who fall for this aren't slow. A lot of them ran companies and balanced books for 40 years. Fear does the work that logic normally blocks. In 2024, the FBI's complaint center logged more than 10,000 of these kiosk cases, with losses past $250 million. No, that's the 2024 figure. The 2025 tally ran higher, north of $330 million in a single year. People over 60 ate more than 85% of those losses. The machine doesn't care who's feeding it. Indiana looked at all that and pulled the plug. House Bill 1116, signed March 9th, 2026 by Governor Braun. Running a crypto kiosk anywhere in the state is now an illegal act, and some 900 of those machines were live when the ink dried. The Attorney General can come after the operator and after the store owner who let the thing sit on his floor. Down in Evansville, the police unit that pushed for the law had watched local losses double year over year, 11 grand a pop on average. Most states stopped short of a ban and wrote rules instead. Wisconsin's law, signed in April, caps you at $1,000 a day and forces a fraud warning printed in 20-point type that you have to acknowledge before the thing will even run. A kiosk there can't sit within 5 feet of a real ATM. South Dakota went harder on the caps, $1,000 a day and 10 grand a month, and it pays fraud victims back in full. Wyoming dragged the operators under its money transmitter law. Vermont froze new machines outright until July. Over 20 states have laws on the books now, with bills sitting in state houses across most of the rest. Up in Maine, regulators squeezed a $1.9 million settlement out of a major kiosk operator to repay people it let get fleeced between 2022 and 2025. Here's the part that can save you, and it costs nothing. The teller. Banks train their people to slow down and ask questions when somebody pulls an odd pile of cash. Because half the time, that customer is standing at the window with a scammer in their ear. A teller asks why you're taking out that much. You tell them the truth. They're not prying. They might be the only thing between you and a clean wipeout. And in a growing list of states, the bank can now pause a transfer that smells like elder exploitation, hold it for a few days, and call somebody before the money walks out the door. Burn this in. The real IRS will never tell you to move money into crypto. Real cops won't either. Not once, not under any version of the story. Now flip to the machine on the corner, because the hardware itself gets turned against you. The roll door on the cash slot opens. You hear the motor whir, and nothing comes out. A thin strip of metal wedged behind that shutter is pinching your bills in place. The screen says the withdrawal went through. You figure the box is broken or empty, and you walk. The thief who planted it strolls back after you're gone and peels your cash out of the trap. Philadelphia got hammered with this starting in the middle of March. At least 9 hits the police tied together, and the American Bankers Association pushed out an alert on it in April. A captain on the city's major crimes unit put it plainly. The roll door drops like always. The customer hears it moving. The door won't open, so they figure the machine's dead. The crews slide these traps in over weekends when the branch is dark and there's nobody to call to stop it. The prize here isn't your card number, it's the actual paper. So if cash doesn't come out after a withdrawal, the screen called good. Don't walk away. Plant yourself at that machine and phone the bank from right where you're standing before you move an inch. A shimmer is thinner than the card in your wallet, and it lives down inside the slot between your chip and the reader. Banks moved everybody to chip cards years back to kill the old cloning trick. The shimmer is the crook's answer. It sits in the middle of the conversation your chip has with the machine and copies the data clean while you stand there doing a normal withdrawal. You won't feel a thing. A handheld skimmer, palmed by a crooked hand, lifts the magnetic stripe off a single swipe, which is why your card stays in your fingers at a machine. Full stop. Need a hand working the screen? Find a uniformed employee inside the branch. Skip the friendly guy who appeared at your elbow by the keypad. The Secret Service ran skimmer sweeps early this year and choked off more than $400 million in fraud. And they'll tell you the things are still planted everywhere. The same devices drain EBT cards, too. That hits people already scraping the bottom. There's a meaner cousin to all this. Crews dressed as repair techs pry the top hat off a standalone ATM and jack into the guts to make it spit every bill inside. They buy the access keys online and walk up looking like they belong. Some of them swap the machine's hard drive for one already loaded with malware. A family of it called Plutus that's been in the wild for years. Once they're in, the box empties in under a minute. Under a minute. And that's the standalone front loaders parked in drive-thrus and corner stores. The ones sunk into a bank wall are harder to crack. Of the 1,900 jackpotting hits logged since the year 2000, more than 700 landed in one recent year. The Secret Service put out a direct memory access warning on it back in January. Keep a hand cupped over the keypad every single time you punch your PIN, even with the place empty. Pinhole cameras dressed up as fixtures and little angled mirrors have lifted pins off people who'd swear they were alone. At a teller window, the employee is supposed to look away while you key it in. That's bank policy, and they're required to do it. If they're watching, say it flat. Turn around while I enter this. You're allowed to. Step back inside the lobby, though, because the ugliest version of this carries no hardware at all. It's a person being nice to you. Somebody at the counter offers to set up the app on your phone and puts a hand out for it. Half a minute with an open banking app is plenty, long enough to move money. Or to drop a screen share app that hands them the controls weeks later, long after you've forgotten the conversation ever happened. Some of them add their own phone to your account as a trusted device, so the security codes the bank texts you start landing on their screen instead. Real help means they talk and you tap. Anyone who has to physically hold your phone to help you, ask for the manager. right then. Then the reconstruction of the stack of paper and the pen. Friendly face at a desk, papers sliding your way, everything moving fast enough that slowing it down feels rude. The fine print is where the live wires sit. Automatic credit line, bumps you never asked for. A buried clause handing your data off to third parties for a fee. People sign all of it without reading a line. You are never required to put your name on something you haven't read. 6 words handle it. I need a minute to read. They push back, you ask for a supervisor, a charge you don't recognize shows up next month, call and ask whether you ever authorized it. And if you signed under pressure and didn't grasp what you agreed to, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau takes complaints at consumerfinance.gov. One quiet move, worth making before any of this ever reaches you. Most banks now let you put a trusted contact on file, a relative or someone steady, a name the bank can ring if your account starts behaving like somebody's working you over. That person can't touch a dollar. They can't move your money or even see the balance. They're a phone call the bank gets to make when something looks wrong. A federal law passed back in 2018 even shields bank employees from getting sued when they report suspected exploitation of an older customer in good faith. So the people at your branch have cover to speak up. If your bank offers the trusted contact and you've breezed past it, set it up. Because once the cash is in the kiosk and converted, there's no number to call, no trail an investigator can follow to the far end. The bills you fed in are already on a chain, in a wallet with no name attached. Gone stays gone.